Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you on here, and I hope you guys can try these mandalas and have a fun time doing it. So before we get started on the mandala design, I'm going to explain our tools. So the tools I use are color coded, so they have a color on the top of the tools. When you buy them off of Temu or Amazon, they usually just come clear. So first off, for the twirly tools, I do not use the green twirly for any of my tutorials, so you can set this one aside. As for the rods, the largest two rods, I, again, also do not use for any of my tutorials, but if you're doing like a bigger project on your own time, then of course you can use these. So now to help you understand what I have color coded, you can lay them out biggest to smallest. The biggest one, which is the green one, next size down, we have it marked as the blue stick. And then next size down after the blue is the white stick. After the white stick, it's the yellow stick. And then we have the pink stick. And then last but not least, trying to pick them up, is the black stick. And then of course we have the twirlies. These are self-explanatory. They are color coded already. You can color code them yourself. We use just nail polish on the tops of the tools. We can get started with the design now. So for today's class, I'm going to be using this color palette. For paint color number 1, I'm using DecoArt Americana Snow White. For paint color number 2, it's a mix of the white paint and just the tiniest bit of Craft Smart Crisp Blue. So it's about 90% white and 10% blue. You just want the tiniest bit to get a nice light blue. For paint color 3, I'm using DecoArt Americana Tuscan Red. For paint color number 3, I'm using Craft Smart Citrus Green. For number 5, I'm using Craft Smart Green. And for paint color number 6, I'm using Craft Smart Multi-Surface Radiant Gold. Okay, so now we're gonna get started on the trinket dish. So we're gonna start off with the blue stick. And we're gonna use paint color 5. You're going to dip it in the paint, and you should have a little white pencil mark. That's where your center is. So you're just gonna place this first dot right on top of that little mark. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus. We're gonna use the smaller end with paint color 2. And to make sure our design comes out as symmetrical as possible, we're gonna place some guiding dots. So for your first dot, you can place it anywhere around the middle dot. Then you're going to place another dot right across from it, like this. Then you're going to find the center of these two, put it to the side like that, and then one more dot across from that one so we get these 4 dots, north, south, west, east.
Did you say the smaller side?
Smaller side. Okay, once we have those 4 dots, we're gonna use still the same tool, the pink stylus smaller end, and still with paint color 2. And we're gonna place a dot in each gap, right in the middle, so you should have 8 dots. And then once you've made those 4 dots, we're gonna go in between in the gaps one more time So you should be done with 16 dots. Okay, moving on to the next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus, the bigger end, with paint color 3. And we're gonna place these dots in between and above. Yes, large end. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus again, the bigger end, with paint color 6. And we're gonna place these dots the same way, placing them above the in-between. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the yellow stylus with paint color 1. We're gonna use the smaller end. So the smaller end is gonna look more ovalish than a circle. And you wanna dip just the tip because we wanna get a little bit of paint, and we're just going to do a small little line in between the dots. So if you don't have enough room in between, don't worry about it. You can go ahead and skip this step. Next step, we're gonna use the white stylus with paint color 1. We're gonna use the bigger end, and we're gonna place a dot above the little lines we did, but you're going to place a dot above every other one. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the black stick. Work with paint color 4. And we're gonna put these above our other little lines that we made. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus with paint color 3. We're gonna use the bigger end first. You're going to dip into the paint, and you're going to place 3 dots like this. Then you'll switch to the smaller end, dip in the paint, start here and drag around.
And the dots on the bigger end?
Yes.
and the drag is totally the smaller end.
Okay, next step, we're using the pink stylus and the black stick. So we're gonna start with the black stick and paint color 5. So with the black stick, you're going to place 2 dots like this. And then with the pink stylus, the bigger end with the same color, place 2 dots to the side like this.
Was it the big end on the piece?
Yes, big end. Okay, moving on to the next step, we're gonna use the pink stick with paint color 6. And we're gonna place this dot above our 4 dots that we did like this. Next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus. We're gonna use paint color 2, and we're gonna start with the bigger end. So with the bigger end, place a dot above our gold ones like this. Then you'll switch to the smaller end, dip in the paint, and then walk the dots around. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the pink stylus with paint color 1, sorry. And we're gonna use the bigger end first for this first dot. Then you'll switch to the smaller end and go around. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the white stylus. And we're gonna use paint color 4. And we're gonna use the bigger end first for the first dot here, and then you'll switch to the smaller end to go around. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the white and blue stylus. We're gonna use the bigger end on both of them. We're gonna start with the blue stylus and paint color 3. And we're gonna place that as our first dot, and then you'll switch to the white stylus bigger end to go around. Okay, next up, we're gonna use the blue stylus and the black stick. And we're gonna use paint color 6. And this is gonna be our last row of dots around, like this. So with the black stick, you're going to place that first dot, and then use the blue stylus bigger end to go around. Okay, next step, we're gonna use the black stick and the pink stylus. We're gonna start with the black stick and paint color 3. And we're going to place 3 dots like this. And then you're gonna use the pink stylus, the bigger end, with paint color 5. And you're gonna add some like leaves. And then you'll switch to the smaller end, and if you want, you can like add like extra little nubs, yeah. And so you'll just do this all the way around.
Now it's good, 4 or 5?
5.
But she's not, oh, the green, okay. Green was 5?
Mm-hmm. Okay, next step, we're going to add little berries to this top rim over here. So we're gonna use the pink stylus, the bigger end, for the little berries. You don't have to dip, you can just dip once and place all 3 berries, and then switch to the smaller end and just a tiny little drag for a leaf.
On the leaves for the berries, what color was it?
Fine.
I think so. And it was
Ready?
under for the,
Yeah, whatever.
and then,
Okay, so now we're going to get started on the wreath, like a little wreath here on the edge of the trinket dish. So we're gonna use the pink stylus, the smaller end, and we're gonna use paint colors 1, 3, 4, and 5. So you're gonna use paint colors 4 and 5 for the little leaf parts of the wreath, and if you want here and there, you can do these little, I don't know, little dots, just little dots here and there, and then with paint color 3, you'll just add berries here and there as well. So just make sure that you're using the small end and not dipping too much because we don't want these to be too bulky. So you're just gonna dip just the tip, start from the outside and make a drag in. And so you'll just kind of zigzag back and forth. Like you can start with paint color 4, do a section, and then go back with paint color 5 and fill in the gaps. And just kind of fill it in. And then if you're doing the white little dots, just keep in mind that the white dots go from in out instead of the leaves, like that. Small side.
Small side.
So with the wreath being the last step, you guys take your time finishing up, but other than that, we're done. You are allowed to take these color palettes home. So you can